at 36 and unmarried. Some might assume I've missed my chance at happiness, but such a view is too simplistic. Kathleen, my sister, proudly boasts about her wealthy, handsome, and brilliant husband during a family gathering in our backyard, drawing curious glances from our relatives. Given our shared upbringing, I can understand their bewilderment. Kathleen has always dominated our family dynamics, and I was raised to silently endure her superiority as the elder sibling. However, I've finally reached my breaking point and am no longer willing to suppress my feelings. I'm Amy Catherine, a 36-year-old who used to work in medical administration. I left my job to devote myself to raising my 3-year-old daughter. Being a stay-at-home mom is challenging, but nothing compares to the joy of waiting for my daughter and husband to return home. Amy, I'm home. Welcome back, Michael, my husband, replies as he walks through the door. A devoted father and supportive partner, he always steps in to handle household chores, ensuring I get my much-needed breaks. Even though I don't work outside the home, he makes sure I have time away from daily tasks. Our daughter, Janet, loves drawing family portraits, and when she proudly presents them to her father, his glowing praise lights up her face, a moment I cherish. Then one day, my routine is disrupted by a call from an unknown number. It's Kathleen, the sister I haven't spoken to in 12 years. Coldly, she informs me of our grandmother's passing and insists I attend the funeral. Her call ends with a thinly veiled jab about my life choices, implying she's been watching my social media. Despite the years apart, her attempt to unnerve me feels weak. I've found fulfillment and meaning beyond society's expectations of marriage and wealth, treasuring the life I've built and the simple joys we share. Kathleen's parting words dripped with a barely concealed hope that I would face loneliness in my later years. Her laughter echoes in my mind, rekindling memories of her mocking demeanor. Yet before I can respond, she abruptly ends the call. We were raised in a privileged family under our strict grandfather and loving grandmother. Our father adhered closely to our grandfather's rules, while our mother spent her life seeking his approval. The dynamics between Kathleen and me were starkly different, seemingly dictated by our physical resemblance to our parents. Kathleen, resembling our father more closely, enjoyed favored treatment, while I, who took after our mother, found warmth and affection primarily from her and our grandmother. In our patriarchal household, not being the favored grandchild came with its own trials. Kathleen's needs were always prioritized, and as the older sibling, I was expected to silently endure. From toys to meals, her whims turned into orders that were rarely questioned. This pattern of favoritism began in our earliest years. Even as a child, my educational journey diverged sharply from Kathleen's. Despite our family's financial stability, I attended a local public high school while she went to an elite private institution. Her life brimmed with privileges, chauffeured rides to school and social gatherings from which I was excluded. On one occasion, I stumbled upon her enjoying tea with friends in the garden. I was quickly dismissed by her, a harsh reminder of my place in the family hierarchy. Spoiled by constant indulgence, Kathleen cultivated a mean streak towards me while maintaining an angelic facade in front of our grandparents and father. After high school, I was determined to carve out my own future and saved enough to enroll in a vocational program for medical administration. It was during this time that I met Brian, a promising medical student at the hospital where I worked. We shared several meals and felt a connection, but neither of us dared to take the next step. During a rare visit home, I confided in my mother about Brian. Just then, Kathleen appeared, an unexpected intrusion during such a personal moment. Although we typically avoided each other, her presence was a stark reminder of the tangled family dynamics and personal aspirations that shaped our lives. My conversation faltered as she entered the room, but to my surprise, she greeted me with a warm smile and expressed interest in my love life. Despite the pain Kathleen had caused me in the past, I still held on to a glimmer of hope for reconciliation, yearning for the sisterly bond we once shared. Encouraged by her newfound interest and my mother's support, I decided to open up about my relationship with Brian. Kathleen's encouragement, along with my mother's approval, bolstered my confidence to take things further with Brian, and soon enough, we became an official couple. Kathleen's request to meet him felt like a sign of her growing maturity and a positive shift in our relationship, something I welcomed wholeheartedly. However, the hope for a renewed sisterly connection was brutally shattered. Just as it seemed we were mending our relationship, Kathleen betrayed me by getting involved with Brian, leading to the abrupt end of our engagement. The joy I had felt from Brian's proposal and our shared dreams of marriage crumbled when he suddenly called it off, leaving me bewildered and heartbroken. In my quest for understanding, I visited my parents' home, only to confront the painful truth: Kathleen and Brian were together, their relationship now public. The shock and grief of this revelation left me feeling isolated. Kathleen's call, devoid of any real remorse, deepened my hurt, forcing me to grapple with the betrayal alone as I sought solace on a park bench in the rain. This betrayal marked a turning point in my life, compelling me to reassess the relationships I valued and the trust one had placed in those closest to me. The pain of this betrayal served as a harsh reminder of the complexities of family dynamics and the unpredictability of human emotions. Kathleen's confession that she had pursued Brian for herself echoed memories of our childhood. when she always took what she wanted without regard for my feelings. I always wanted to meet someone like him first, she claimed, a reminiscence of her childhood tactics. Their secret meetings and eventual intimacy felt like an insurmountable betrayal, especially when Kathleen cruelly admitted that she had only pretended to be nice to Brian to win him over. Her justification was both simple and painful. She believed her looks made her more deserving. The shock of this betrayal propelled me to make drastic changes in my life. I changed my phone number, moved out of my apartment, and even secured a new job to distance myself from Brian. Severing ties with my family, including Kathleen, was a difficult yet necessary step for my peace of mind. But when Kathleen attempted to reconnect via social media, posting a condescending message that feigned concern for me, it was the final straw. Her actions reopened old wounds and ignited a desire for revenge within me. Despite my feelings, I attended our grandmother's funeral, fulfilling her last wish. However, Kathleen's mockery persisted there. She openly compared our lives in front of everyone, including Brian, who couldn't even meet my gaze. The introduction of Kathleen's son, Arthur, was a painful reminder of the life she had built with the man I once loved. Her comments about my single status and her flaunting of her seemingly perfect life with Brian felt like salt in an already open wound. Yet everything shifted when my daughter, Janet, and my husband, Michael, arrived. Michael, the youngest director at the hospital where Brian worked, symbolized the success and stability I had found far away from the chaos of my past with Kathleen. The surprise and envy that flickered across Kathleen's face at the revelation of my husband's stature and our happy family life offered a sense of vindication. Her attempts to belittle me and showcase her own life as superior backfired, exposing the depth of her insecurity and the hollowness of her victories. My journey had brought me to a place of genuine happiness and fulfillment, far removed from the superficial standards of success that Kathleen clung to. This moment, while tinged with the pain of past betrayals, underscored the strength and resilience I had cultivated in building a life on my own terms, surrounded by those who truly valued and loved me. After deciding to make a fresh start away from my family dynamics, I found a job at a hospital where I met Michael. He was a dedicated doctor, impressed by my attentive care for patients and my efficient support of the medical staff. Our relationship blossomed earnestly, grounded in mutual respect and shared values, a stark contrast to the entanglements of my past with Kathleen and Brian, whose reactions to Michael and my relationship revealed their surprise and perhaps envy. At our grandmother's funeral, the dynamics of our relationships were laid bare. Arthur recognized my daughter, Janet, from her popular YouTube channel, the Jane Leon channel, which boasted 4 million subscribers. His initial excitement to befriend Janet was met with her candid rejection, highlighting her loyalty and protective nature towards me. This prompted an outburst from Arthur, who blamed Kathleen for his disappointment, creating a scene that she struggled to control. Caught up in the competition, Kathleen attempted to belittle my social media presence, but the truth of Janet's channel far outshone her own meager efforts. In a moment of clarity, I revealed the wedding rings that Michael and I wore on necklaces, a practical choice we made when Janet was younger to prevent her from playing with them. This symbol of our love and unity seemed lost on Kathleen, who struggled to understand how I, someone she deemed less desirable, could find such happiness and success. During Kathleen's tirade, Brian stepped in to defend me, reprimanding her for her rudeness and affirming the respect he held for Michael and me. This marked a pivotal moment, with Brian expressing his remorse for Kathleen's actions, highlighting the shifting dynamics in our relationships. The funeral provided an emotional backdrop for these revelations, allowing me to introduce Michael and Janet to my parents. The encounter was bittersweet. My mother radiated joy, while my father maintained his stoic demeanor, still influenced by his favoritism towards Kathleen. Though my mother expressed a desire for more frequent family gatherings, the complexity of our family relationships made such promises feel difficult to fulfill. In the days that followed, a sense of apprehension prompted me to check social media, bracing myself for Kathleen's potential mockery. Sure enough, she had posted a photo of Janet, attempting to fabricate a narrative of a harmonious encounter. This manipulation, characteristic of Kathleen, leveraged Janet's popularity for her own benefit, distorting the truth of our strained relationship. Through it all, the strength and resilience of my family shone brightly, emphasizing the stark contrast between our genuine connections and the superficial ties that Kathleen clung to. Our journey was one of healing and growth, moving beyond past hurts toward a future filled with love and authenticity. I was taken aback by Kathleen's relentless quest for attention online. Her latest antics, sharing a photo of my daughter Janet without consent and concocting stories about autographs, left me feeling exasperated. When I publicly requested the removal of the photo and called out her dishonesty, Kathleen retaliated by highlighting my comment to portray me as the envious sibling. Her followers quickly rallied to her defense, echoing sentiments that painted me in a negative light, turning the situation into a petty drama instead of a serious concern. Understanding that direct confrontation with Kathleen would lead nowhere, I took to the Jane Leon channel, our family's platform, to address the issue responsibly. I clarified to our audience that the photo had been shared without our permission, debunked the autograph claim, and stressed the importance of online privacy and respect. Additionally, Janet and I created a video educating children on internet safety, emphasizing the need for consent before sharing someone's image. This initiative received overwhelming support, reinforcing the importance of teaching young internet users about digital etiquette. The saga took an unexpected turn when Kathleen, undeterred by her account suspension due to her actions, reached out from a new profile. Her message, completely lacking remorse, instead conveyed a sense of entitlement and a dismissal of the serious privacy violation she had committed. Kathleen's justification, that familial ties somehow granted her the right to exploit Janet's image for her own gain, laid bare her deep-seated selfishness and lack of empathy. In response, I urged her to embrace honesty in her future social media endeavors, respect boundaries, and refrain from fabricating content. Despite having initiated the conversation, Kathleen's parting words dripped with irony as she accused me of intruding on her life, entirely unaware of her own invasive actions. While she continued to curate a vibrant online persona, painting a picture of a fulfilling life, her past behavior began to haunt her. A former classmate from her exclusive school reached out to me, exposing a troubling pattern of manipulation. Kathleen had been exploiting her connections to coerce friends into hosting gatherings and allowing her to intrude on their personal lives, all under the guise of maintaining her social stature. This revelation illuminated the extent of Kathleen's manipulation, showing that it extended well beyond our family disputes and affected others in her social circle. This unexpected ally's experiences highlighted a broader issue regarding Kathleen's influence, prompting me to reflect on the effects of social media on personal relationships and the lengths some individuals go to maintain an illusion of perfection. The unfolding events underscored the complexities of navigating familial ties in the digital age, emphasizing the vital importance of integrity, respect, and privacy in all aspects of life. As I learned from multiple sources about Kathleen's attempts to manipulate her friends with unspecified leverage, her tactics became increasingly evident. She had threatened to expose secrets that her friends themselves couldn't recall, an unmistakable sign of her desperation to wield control and influence. On my advice, these friends confronted Kathleen, demanding proof of her claims, which, unsurprisingly, she failed to provide. This confrontation led to a noticeable shift in Kathleen's social media presence. Her posts began to lack the friends she had once prominently featured, signaling a collective stand against her manipulative behavior. As Kathleen's social circle dwindled, contrasting sharply with her once vibrant online life, I noticed changes in my own household. Michael, usually punctual and attentive, began arriving home late from the hospital, hinting at unrest within his professional environment. Despite my attempts to provide comfort with snacks for the overworked staff, I could feel an undercurrent of tension in the air, an issue no one seemed willing to discuss, leaving me feeling out of place and worried. The source of this hospital unrest soon became clear. With a seriousness I rarely witnessed, Michael disclosed that Brian, Kathleen's husband, had been involved in a serious medical error. This incident, compounded by attempts to cover it up and his generally poor attitude, led to his dismissal from the hospital. The fallout from this event not only jeopardized Brian's career but also strained Kathleen's family dynamics. In the wake of these developments, my mother, who had been kept at arm's length by my father's directives, reached out with news that brought everything full circle. Kathleen's marriage to Brian had crumbled under the weight of his professional failures and their personal conflicts, culminating in divorce. Furthermore, Kathleen had been disowned by our family, a consequence of her actions and the damage they inflicted on those around her. While distressing, this sequence of events served as a reminder of the importance of integrity and accountability in both personal and professional realms. Kathleen's fall from grace mirrored Brian's professional demise, highlighting the consequences of a life guided by manipulation and deceit. At the same time, the solidarity shown by Kathleen's former friends in standing up to her tactics offered a glimmer of hope, showcasing the resilience of those willing to confront unfairness and support one another in challenging times. The aftermath of Kathleen's actions extended beyond her relationships, impacting her son, Arthur, who was placed in a facility due to the upheaval and financial instability that ensued. This situation seemed to serve as a wake-up call for my father, who had always had a soft spot for Kathleen. Nevertheless, neither he nor I were in a position to take Arthur in, as we had our own future needs to consider. My parents opted to support him indirectly, offering financial assistance to the facility while choosing to remain anonymous in their contributions. During our conversation, my mother's tearful apologies revealed her deep regret over Kathleen's trajectory. She blamed herself for Kathleen's sense of entitlement and manipulative tendencies, acknowledging how they contributed to her downfall. Despite this acknowledgement, I asked to maintain some distance from the family drama, hoping to preserve the peace in my own life. In a lighter moment, Michael suggested a family outing to the amusement park, which sparked joy on Janet's face. She excitedly chatted about riding roller coasters, and we planned to capture those moments on camera to share later. However, in a sweet display of protectiveness, Janet declared that she didn't want the world to see just how adorable her mommy was. fearing the attention it might attract. Michael's agreement with her sentiment warmed my heart, affirming the loving bond we shared as a family. This dinner marked one of the rare occasions we were all together, discussing our future plans and the simple joys of life. Despite the complexities and challenges posed by our extended family situation, it was these moments of unity and happiness that I cherished the most. Michael's unwavering support and Janet's innocent joy reminded me of the beautiful life we had built together, a life I was determined to protect and nurture. Far removed from the turmoil and strife that had once defined my relationship with Kathleen and my family,